Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to install a Windows 11 server, Windows 11, and Windows 11 on VirtualBox, and then we're going to set up a domain controller, an admin account, and we're going to link the Windows account to the Windows server, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So first of all, we want to go ahead and do is open up your internet browser and look up Windows Server. And once you get your link to your server to the Windows, it's going to ask you, which one you want to do. You're going to click on the free one, just fill out this information, and they'll give you a download link. Same thing for the Windows ISO. You want to go over there, look up just Windows 11 ISO, and take you to this website. Go ahead and download that. Same, and then look up VirtualBox. This is what you'll be running the two virtual machines on. Download the latest version for that, and install that. And then once these two are installed, we can begin to set up these servers in the Windows 11. So what we're going to go ahead and do is get this guy out of here real quick. We're going to go ahead and add a new. We'll just name this one Windows 11. Windows 11. And we're going to go ahead and grab our ISO that you downloaded, right? Desktop, grab that. Windows 11, open that up. You want to do the Pro Edition. Make sure you guys have that. Skip unattended install. Give yourself at least 4 gigs. I'm going to give myself 6 just to be safe. Give yourself 4 cores. Make sure you have enough storage. I stick around 60, that's fine. And finish that up. That should be created. Now you want to go ahead and do the server too, so hit new. We'll name this Windows Server. And then we'll go over to our ISO image and select that from our desktop. I drag mine to my desktop, it's the easiest way to access it. So open up and grab that. You want to do the desktop experience, don't forget that. Hardware, make sure you do pretty much the same. I give myself 6 gigs of memory, 4 cores, and around 60 gigs of storage. Alright, and then finish that one up. From this point on, we can go ahead and get started. So let's start up your virtual machine. We're going to do the server first, and then we'll do the Windows right after. Depending on how long it takes, we may do both at the same time, but right now we're just going to do this setup. So it's going to load your files. Run this process real quick. This usually takes around 10 minutes itself to install both of the machines. So just give it a couple minutes. Next. Install now. It's going to say setup is starting. Go ahead and select the desktop experience. Very, very important that you select the desktop one. Next. Accept and install. Next. Custom. Select that storage that you made. Hit next. It's going to go ahead and install the server in operations now. It's going to run this process. Takes a little bit, but that's okay. While that does that, we'll actually go ahead and do the Windows one. So let's go over to Windows 11, hit start on that. It's our Windows server. You're going to need a Windows Microsoft account for this, so make sure you have one of those already set up prior to this. This is going to take a second to boot. Make sure you press your key. Any key works. It's going to load up the menu so you can start selecting your stuff to set up the Windows. Alright, hit next. Install now. Says setup is starting. You don't need a product key, so you can say you don't have one. Scroll down and click on Windows Pro. Windows 11 Pro, hit next. Accept the terms, next. Custom, select your space. And it's going to go ahead and install that. So let's go look at the virtual machine and see how that's doing. Windows Server seems to be at 35% way. And we just started updating that one. So it's going to take a few minutes. Just let it run its course. And both of these are going to restart right after they're installed, so that one's 47 and 5, takes a while. Looks like Windows 11 is going to get the first to be installed. That's alright. Give us more time to set that up. That process takes a little while too because you have to configure an account if you don't already have one set up. Alright, here goes the server. It's finishing up and installing. Should almost be doing the same over there. It's going to go ahead and reboot after it's done, and we're just going to turn off the machine and boot it back on after it restarts over there. Set 94 right here. Alright, just gonna hit restart now. Alright, since this is restarted, we're gonna go ahead to our file, close this virtual machine real quick. We want to power it off, hit OK, that's fine. We do the same thing with this one over here once that's loaded. But until that happens, we're gonna start back up our Windows server. Go ahead and restart that one too. You don't have to press any key this time around on here. It'll automatically load up to the toggle admin, which you already set up. But we're gonna right now Once this boots up, we're going to set up a password for an admin control. Shouldn't be that difficult. Server's running, Windows 11 is booting. That's good. Server's going to start up. It's about to boot. Here we go. Alright, here we go. It's going to have us make a password, so go ahead, write that down. Any password works as long as you know it. Finish that up. It's going to finalize your settings and log us in. To load up past this, just use the manual Control-Alt-Delete input, and it'll boot you right in. Use your password. It's going to load up the profile. Yeah, we can let it, okay. Try manage admin services. So right from here, what we're going to go ahead and do now, click on add roles and features, because we're going to configure the domain admin right now. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, oh, the domain controller, sorry about that. And we're going to go to installation type, server selection, get all past this, server roles. And when you get right here, make sure you check Active Directory Domain Services. Make sure that's the one, yep. Check that box, hit next. Click through that, next, confirm, and install. It's going to go ahead and run an install. Just let it run its process. Windows is still loading. It takes a while, it's alright. Looks like the Windows is booting, that's good. Side by side, make it more efficient. Just wait for this to install. 62%. Alright, there we go. And this yellow box is going to pop up here after you do that. So click on that. Go to promote the server to a domain controller. Add a new forest. What you want to do is you can put this in any name, but I'm going to use ktg.local. Make sure you add this local suffix, it's very important for later. That noise right there was the sound of our Windows booting. Okay, hit next. Windows Server, Want to type in a password to confirm this, so just write a password down for this part, don't forget it. Hit next. Don't worry about that DNS right there. In the NetBIOS name, you want to be the same without the local suffix. So once this loads, we'll do that. So KTG, that's good. Next. Next. Just gonna check and make sure everything works with the controller. Go ahead and hit install after that. It's going to go ahead and run an install, and then right after it's going to do a reboot. While that runs its course, we're going to go over here and set up our windows real quick. There goes the server doing its restart. That's good. While that does its reboot, we'll go over here and get this loaded. Name your device. You don't have to worry about this right now. You can skip that. Set up for personal use. Let's do this one next. Unlock your experience. Sign in. There you go. It's gonna now. So what you can do is use an account that you already have or make a new one. I'm going to use one that I already have. So let's go do that real quick. Next, it's going to send you a code if you have a two-factor authenticator set up. I'm going to grab that real quick. speed through this. It's going to give you a code. Make sure you enter that in. There you go. Sign in with that. It's going to add your micro. Server's running over here. This is good. It's going to be a little slow depending on internet speed. Over here, it's going to apply the settings that you set up for the domain. Alright, here goes the server. Go input same thing we did before. Log in with your password. It's going to boot up your server manager. And this part, now we're going to make an admin, right? So go to Tools, head over to Active Directory Users and Computers. Go over to your KTG local users. Left click on that. Expand your users. Do a new user. And we're going to make a user real quick. So let's just do something simple. So Bob, just a bunch of Bob here. So, just really basic, nothing too complicated. User login, Bob at ktg.local. There you go. Next. Password. Keep it simple. There you go. Hit next. Finish that setup for that user. And now once that's done, this next part will be disabling the firewall and stuff on the server side and Windows side. So after you have your user made, we also want to make him an admin user. So next we're going to click on him, the user that we just made. So open up that users, click on that guy right there, properties. Go over to member of and hit add, and then type in domain admin. There you go. Oh, must have spelled it wrong real quick. Let me get that right. D-O-M-A domain A-D-M-I-N. There we go. He's going to be now made a domain admin. Just hit apply. And now that he's a domain admin, we want to go ahead and configure our network connection. So we're going to want to disable the firewall on the server. So to do that, close minimize server manager. Go over to open up Windows, go to settings, network and internet. Go over to View, Windows Firewall. I'm going to turn this off. Same thing with all the other ones. Make sure these are all off. There you go. And then also turn off our IP6. So open that tab right there. Just change adapter options. Left click on here. Right click. Go to properties. And then right here you'll see version 6, IP6. Disable that. Okay. Alright. Now that that's done, we'll go check on the server. I do this by going to Tools and then Defenders and Firewall with Advanced Security. Make sure it's fully disabled. There we go. Windows Firewall is disabled. So our Windows server seemed to froze. That's fine. We'll just close it out and restart it one more time. Run that again. And while we're here, we'll also do another thing. So this is going to enable remote connections to your device, to the server, so we can attach the Windows server to this, the Windows 11 to the Windows server, right? So we go remote. Well, actually, we don't even have to do that. We can go over here, scroll up. Advanced system settings, remote, and allow remote connections. Do that. Apply that real quick. Just gonna go ahead and it's gonna freeze up a little bit. That's all right. As long as it doesn't crash, it should be fine. So here goes Windows 11, finally booting after the longest time. It's gonna run us back through the process again. Hopefully our server recovers. I think it's frozen, but that's alright. We can always restart it. Just gonna go ahead and send another code. Grab that. See if it doesn't freeze this time. That'd be great. We don't have to restore from that. We'll do a new device. Setup is that. Gonna ask us to create a pin. That's fine. Go ahead and make one. It seems our server has frozen. That's alright. We'll just reboot it. So close out that machine real quick, power off, that's okay. Go ahead and do that. Let it run through all these. Accept. I'm going to start back up our server real quick. Alright, go ahead and input the same thing. Seems the server's crashed again on the Windows 11 side. It's alright if this happens multiple times to you. These things aren't always guaranteed. They usually do crash. It's not common. Well, it is common. So just go ahead and power that off. Get that rerunning again. Let me go ahead and check and make sure our user is still here. Active Directory, computer users. Alright, that's good. Our user is still there. And IPS and all that stuff's already disabled over here. Another thing that we have to do also is input and go over to our devices, network and network settings, and then go to bridge adapter. That's what we want to click on that server side. We'll do the same thing for the Windows one as soon as we get it loaded and completed. So let's start it back up again. See if we can get it working this time. Third time's the charm. I'm going to go ahead and give my computer a little bit more power through Armory Create real quick. It might assist us in running these servers and the computer well. There we go. It's going to start making a little bit more noise, but that's okay. Go ahead and get this booted up. This is the most annoying process out of all of it. After this setup and everything goes, it'll be really quick. So skip this again. Gonna go ahead and check for updates. having to do another setup. Hopefully, like I said, third time's the charm, we can get this to work. Sign in one more time. Enter the code we get. Alright, that's finally loaded up. Seems like our server is crashed over here though, that's fine. We're just gonna let this run its process over here and restart this. So power that machine off. That's gonna take a few minutes. So I'm gonna restart back up the server again. One more time. Hopefully we get it this time. Seems this one is frozen again. Huh. We're gonna run it one more time. Let's get this going. Come on. Like I said, this is the most tedious process of doing this, is setting this up. Oh, here we go. So this is open right now. We got Windows loaded. Perfect. We can get started on the difficult stuff. Well, not difficult, easy stuff, right? So after this, once your system is booted up, you want to disable the firewall on this account. So go to your network settings. You can usually quick access them through there, but since it's on Windows 11, it'll be easier if you go to your system settings. So system settings, network and internet. Click on your main source, configure firewall and security. Say yes. I'm going to turn all of these off again. It's gonna prompt us this time around. It's more updated, so private network account off. Yep. Public off. Yep. Let it do that. Then after this, we want to disable IP6, so we're gonna go ahead and look up our control panel, I mean. Open that bad boy up. Go to Network and Internet. Network and Sharing Center. Configure adapter settings. Properties. Disable IP6 over here. Hit OK. And now this server over here is going to be ready to boot to the server. So same thing on this side. What you also want to do is network settings and turn on that bridge adapter mode. Hit OK. Alright, let's see how our server is doing. We started. Looks like it went rogue on us. Had a little problems, that's fine. Hopefully it boots properly this time. And while that's happening also here, we can do the next part, which is restarting this and changing the name on the device, which is pretty one of the core components to doing this. So we're going to rename our PC. We got this to load, that's great. That's exactly what we wanted. This user profile setup going. That's what we're talking about. We're going to rename this to, as soon as we can get, there we go. Rename it to Windows 11. Oh, we don't have space in there, guys. Forgot about that. Windows 11. Hit next. It's going to ask you to restart. We're going to restart that later because we also have to configure our IP address. So once this server is up and running, okay, close that out, cancel. Alright, so tools, we're going to check and make sure our server is still going. So let's go to Active Directory and users, check if it's still there. Got to verify it real quick. Just going to make sure it saved it. There we go. Now we want to go to our local server and check our IP on the server. And you want to follow this IP address. Not this one, but when you click on all servers and you're loading in, it'll show you an IP4 address, and that's what you'll use on the Windows account, okay? So let's switch back over here. Go ahead and scroll down. And make sure remote desktop is activated over here real quick. We just want to verify that. Scroll down to System, About, Advanced System Settings, Remote, Allow Remote Connections. Apply that real quick. Hit OK. Now let's go over to our Windows system and change the IP settings. So we'll go to do that. We'll go over to our network settings. click on that, scroll down, and then you actually go to your command center. It'll make it a lot easier, your control center, right? Go back to your change adapter settings, properties real quick. Click on your IP as 4 in protocol version 4, go to properties. Use the following DNS. Now you want to copy the one from over there that you saw on the server. So mine was 10, 0, 0. Just want to verify it real quick. 93. Okay, that works. And now we're going to go over to our about system. Here we go. And this is where we're going to link it to the server. So from here on, you want to go to your domain or work group. Change this. Windows. Okay. Alright. After that's changed, we're going to do a quick restart on the computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Let that run a quick restart over there. This is the linking process. It's pretty straightforward once we have it because we have the IP set and everything. We have the allow remote connections going to. It's going to go ahead and restart. Alright, and then from here we want to close this. Go ahead and power off the machine, okay? Head back over to your Windows 11, start it back up. This Windows will boot right back up. Pretty simple process. There you go. Enter your PIN. And here comes the best part. Open up your Windows settings. This is where we link it. Scroll down. About. Alright. Domain or work group. Change the domain. Member of domain. I remember in the beginning it was KTG, KGT, right? Yep, ktg.local. It's going to go ahead and search for it. Enter the password that we set. Username Bob. Password. There we go. Oh, we have to change the password real quick. My bad, guys. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. After rebooting. So we're going to go back over to that user. Change that form real quick. Alright, now let's try to link that one more time. Domain of ktg.local. Change the password. And we should log right in. There you go. It's going to say welcome to KTG local domain on the Windows side. And to verify that's the case, we're going to go over here, go to users, computers, and you'll see the Windows 11 computer attached. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. That's how you link a user Windows 11 to a Windows 2022 server and set up a domain controller. And yep, bye bye.